I have seen a lot of change in the tech computing industry over the last 35 years. Sometimes things have been surprising, sometimes things were just inevitable. The inevitable things tend to be intersections of a bunch of existing technologies added together with a new advance, either in hardware or software. One thing that was inevitable was the connected smartphone. Remember Steve Jobs' iPod phone and mobile communicator line from the iPhone's intro? Once it was possible for all of that to get fit into one device, it was going to happen. It didn't have to be Apple. It didn't have to be 2007. And very many details might have been different, but somebody was eventually going to make an internet-connected computer and put one in everybody's pocket. I've learned to watch for these things as if my job depends on it, which in some ways it does. You always have to be looking for the trends so you can try to stay relevant. And I'm seeing one of those convergences now, and it's centered upon what we're calling AI. No, I'm not talking about the human intelligence AI that they're calling AGI now, because marketing's great. This is all stuff that can be done with minor improvements to the tech we have right now. Now, I have no inside information, but I would be shocked if it's not being worked on somewhere at the moment that I'm recording to this. All these pieces currently exist. All someone has to do is put them together and make it worth well enough. I could be wrong, and I hope that I am, but I'm afraid I'm not. And frankly, it makes me frightened as This is the Internet of Bugs. My name is Carl, and today I'm going to be talking about how AI, or really the companies behind AI, might try to take over much of the online landscape. So here are the technologies I think are going to converge into a dystopian threat. I'm going to run through these fairly quickly so you know what pieces are on the board, and then I'm going to walk you through how they fit together and what kind of Voltron they form. The first obvious set, you've got your virtual assistants, these things. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to trigger any of them that happen to be sitting next to anybody who's watching this. There's the book time on my calendar apps, mailbox filtering and prioritization stuff, customer service chatbots on websites, algorithmic curation, so the stuff that YouTube and Netflix and Facebook do to decide what it's going to try to show you next and what it's going to give you the choice of clicking on. Machine learning, of course, big data advertisements, the stuff that's behind YouTube and Facebook. Online payments. There's a concept called the Everything app. There's one I understand in China is called WeChat, but basically it's a place that you can, look at things, you can buy things, kind of like a PayPal and Amazon and YouTube and Twitter all rolled into one kind of thing. I haven't actually used it, but that's my understanding from the folks that I know that have. Some people refer to these things as AI agents, what you get when you combine a WeChat kind of app with an autonomous agent in one of these devices. Some people add the word autonomous to AI agent, and a lot of people are already warning about them. I've got an article in the description. I don't think people really understand all the implications, and they don't see the next parts of the puzzle, or at least I haven't seen anybody that does. The less obvious chunk, there's the rise of video content, the ubiquity of Zoom since COVID happened, text-to-speech LLMs, role-playing computer game character and avatar creation, and LLM animated avatars that have lip sync. Then you get to the scary part. So this is fitness trackers, front-facing cameras, and eye tracking. So AI agents are fairly straightforward. It's basically like your current one of these things on steroids with ChatGPT and context. So that's where we start. And now we add the curation search part, right? So YouTube, Facebook, Netflix, whatever, they keep data on everything that you've watched to try to figure out what else to show you on the platform that will keep you on the platform. Moving that logic out of the Facebooks and YouTubes of the world and Netflixes of the world and into the agent itself. That way you can track what you do across sites. And that makes for better personalization. That way you don't have to pick what YouTube video you want to watch next. You can pick which video across all of that plus TikTok and all that kind of stuff that you want to watch next, whatever that happens to be. I expect the big sites will hate that. And I expect they will make their own agents and there'll be a big fight about who owns your agent. And I don't know how that's going to shake out. Everybody wants to do this because the better they know you, the more money they can charge for ads that target you. And there's a ton of money in this. And when you add that to the everything app like WeChat and online payments, you get not only something that can show you an ad, but something that can buy the thing for you too, with your credit card, of course. That will make the impulse purchases go up, so the ads get even more valuable. Amazon tried to do purchasing with the Echo for years, and it reportedly never worked, but they were missing a necessary component, which is where the second set of tech comes in, the rise of video. You add video and you get something that can show you funny video that's also a product placement ad, and then you can buy the thing for you too. Now the ad dollars can really start flowing. With a video and a screen and the ability to keep context for longer conversations, the limitations of buying things on the Amazon Echo goes away, because you can be confident what you're actually going to be buying in a way that you can't in a purely voice context. So those of you that seen my early videos know I was originally going to make a blog to answer the questions I was getting from my child, who's a freshman CS major, and the folks in the school's computer club. But I was told, Dad, no one my age will read your blog. So I ended up making a YouTube channel and said, more people have engaged with this channel in the 6 weeks that I've been publishing videos than ever looked at all of my blog posts combined. And a whole lot more than read the book I wrote, and the book took a ton more effort. Just the editing of the book took a ton more effort. Add to that the statistic that a third of US adults under 30 get most of their news from short form videos on TikTok, which I've got an article in the description, really bad headline. The headline says more Americans are getting their news. It means more Americans are getting their news from TikTok than last year, but a bunch of people, especially like Congress people, have been quoting this as saying more Americans have been getting their news from TikTok than from other places, which is not at all what the article says, but people just don't read past the headlines half the time. We're so used to Zoom calls now that since the pandemic's happened, interacting with someone, even a virtual someone, being a screen avatar is just natural, even for non-techie folks. Quick aside, somebody asked me the other day on another video about products that were bought and run into the ground by big companies. Imagine Skype in the pandemic. If there was ever a time that a product that used to be ubiquitous with call someone over a computer could have been able to shine, it would have been Skype, and it would have been then. But it wasn't, because Microsoft. So then you take all of that and you add text-to-speech LLMs and AI-generated avatars that have lip sync. So then you end up with the picture on the thumbnail, which is the character of Joy from Blade Runner 2049. Now, in some ways, this character is way more sophisticated than what we're anywhere close to. We don't have anything like the hologram projectors that that character was projected by. These agents, the ones I'm talking about, are going to be locked inside screens, and they won't be able to move around and physically interact with you the way that she did. In many ways, though, what we're going to have is going to be way better than Joy, or at least way more advanced. I can see that there were important plot and audience reasons that the character of Joy in the apartment looked almost just like all the Joys on the billboards, but this isn't a Barbie doll that's fixed in form that you just dress up. These things are going to have appearance customization that's going to put most advanced RPG character creator UIs to shame. So checkpoint, we have a virtual character that you can change the appearance and the voice of, who can not only set reminders, interact with your calendar, send email, redo email, answer questions, buy things for you with your credit card, and just have entertaining but pointless conversations with you if you feel like it. It can also curate your Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Netflix, news, current events feeds, among lots of other things, and be your personalized Google search bot, finding content for you on the web itself, play videos and music on demand, remember everything about you, track everything you watch, everything you buy, show you ads, and route you towards certain products in a new form of product placement. This thing will be designed to be your one gateway to all of your news, entertainment, and purchasing. And some people are going to use it that way. Others may only use it sometimes, and some may have one for work and one for home or something. I have no idea how many. I'm not sure how that will shake out. It's going to depend on how compelling the companies make their products. But those agents can also be paid, in theory, to prioritize or deprioritize certain news stories or scandals to push or hide products. If you think that the political fact bubbles that people are in are bad now, you haven't seen anything yet. Are you worried yet? You should be, because what we've just done is hooked a ChatGPT-like LLM up to every single piece of data that exists about you. Every credit card transaction, whether you made it through that agent or the company bought your data from the credit card network, every video you've ever watched, every web page you've ever visited, even assuming that the company that made that agent is ethical, which is a big assumption. We know that even with well-known computer infrastructure and well-defined best practices, we have security breach and data leaks all the time. And this will be worse, because instead of having one company's worth of your data, it will have many, many companies' worth of your data. And for some people, it will have all of the data. And this is an LLM. And we really don't understand how that works. We really don't understand the corner cases. We really don't understand what the security best practices of those things is going to be. You might have just seen the articles about how you can just ask an LLM the same stupid thing over and over again and it'll start leaking data. OpenAI responded to that, I love this, by asking ChatGPT to repeat the same thing over and over again a terms of service violation, because that's going to help. Now, do you want to trust that thing or something like it with everything that's known about you? But see, I haven't gotten to the scary tech yet. Here's the scary part. I have to warn you. If you start Googling this phrase I'm about to say, your AdSense is going to become a nightmare. And you're going to see a lot of stuff that you probably don't want to and you won't be able to unsee. But that phrase is virtual girlfriend. Now, some people are making virtual girlfriend bots that are arbitrarily customizable. Some are modeled after specific famous people. Some of those are licensed from the performers being involved. Some are illegal deepfakes, which is a whole different problem that is not going to be discussed in this video. And there are a bunch of people out there that are using LLMs to make those addictive virtual romantic companions for lonely people. And these bots are completely uncensored and can reportedly go to some very not safe for work or kids kind of places. But some of them also have hardware. I've read articles that I'm not going to link or talk about in detail that have custom peripherals, but the interesting thing is they use the physical responses of the user to respond and behave in different ways. If you have a strong stomach and you want to learn more, check out the reporting from Samantha Cole. She writes at both 404 Media and Vice's Motherboard imprint. Links in the description as always. Careful what you get into there. Only go read that stuff if you want to, but she does a good job of reporting on it. So I'm not predicting that mainstream tech companies are going to get into the virtual girlfriend and AI-generated erotica business, but the idea of using the user's biometric data is something I think we're going to start to see them use. There was this game called Before Your Eyes that used player blinking as a control input, which was very fascinating. And Apple is already using eye tracking really heavily in the Vision Pro headset. Meta's using it on their Quest Pro. Both companies, among others, like Android, are promoting connecting fitness trackers, smartwatches, etc. to their platforms. So imagine this AI agent, the one that's plugged into your YouTube and Facebook and Netflix, as well as any other service you subscribe to, who can actively change what it's showing you by using your pulse rate, your pupil dilation, and what eye tracking says that you're looking at to try to keep you watching. Now imagine that in that list of videos it's curating for you are completely AI-generated videos, either generated by a company that specializes in AI-generated videos or by the company who's hosting the agent itself. You've probably heard about Sora from OpenAI. There's also a new, supposedly feature movie that's purely AI, which doesn't look great, but it's probably the worst one that's ever going to be, and they're just going to get better. Now, imagine all those crazy conspiracy theories on the internet, presented by an LLM-driven agent who has no idea what may or may not actually be true, and is picking content to show the user based on what the user's body literally reacts to. Add to that the idea that LLMs hallucinate, and they just make stuff up, and that those hallucinations can suddenly become video with AI-generated people and lip syncing. Now add to that the idea that companies providing these agents can correlate what content gets the biggest reaction out of the highest numbers of people. So we could end up with millions of bespoke LLMs stringing quasi-random words together, getting a huge reaction out of a user, and then that reaction being noticed by algorithms back at headquarters and that content being shown to other people across the network. We could end up with completely hallucinated stories, generated and taken as fact by the users and going viral in minutes, and by the time somebody realizes what happened, it'll be everywhere. Not to mention the kind of content that either brands could pay to have presented to you, or that hackers could cause the LLM to present against your wishes and the wishes of the company. It's going to be a haven for scammers. Not to mention the treasure trove of personal data that a hacker can get into if it can just trick the LLM into disclosing the wrong thing. See what I'm worried about? My guess is that one side of this will start with chatbots on websites, the ones you've already seen that you just click because they get in the way, either directly or through a browser extension. And the chatbot will ask you what kind of content you feel like watching today and make suggestions. You'll be able to listen to it or watch the captions, a lot like TikTok. You'll be able to talk to it if you're alone or type to it if there are people around. The other side of this will be the existing and new generations of the voice assistants becoming far more robust. Probably not so much this one, but like the ones that are in your phone. The AI Humane Pen just launched. It's been roundly derided. The reviews were justifiably savage, but all the ones I saw hated the implementation, but were excited about the promise of the idea of the thing. That idea, plus some other stuff I've talked about, is what everybody's going to be chasing now. Both sides of this, the virtual agent getting better and the site chatbot getting more widely spread, are going to start moving toward each other. And there's going to be different things integrating with different things. There's going to be partnerships. There's going to be acquisitions. There's going to be companies scraping each other's sites against the terms of service. There will be lawsuits. It's going to be a mess. There may be a winner at the end, or it might be like an iPhone versus Android standoff with two people sitting at the end. I have no clue who will win. I don't know what the winner will look like. I don't know when this will happen. I am confident that somebody's already started on this. Thing is, in that race to be first, when everybody's trying to grab market share, how careful do you think those companies are going to be? How do you think they're going to prioritize time to market versus code quality versus security? I don't think it's going to be right, or at least it's not going to generate good security. It's not going to generate quality code. Now, I really hope I'm wrong about all of this, but this really feels like opening a gigantic can of worms, and that the internet is about to be far more infested with bugs than ever. But hey, I guess I'll have plenty of stuff to complain about, so I'll never run out of content, and you can subscribe and watch it all, right? At least until the agents start being told to filter out anything that's critical of them. Yeah, never mind. I'll be just